Hey, good morning to you. Yes, sir, Jesus is Lord. And yes, sir, the word works. Thank God. I'm so glad Jesus is Lord and the word works. Been talking to you all week about the first miracle. Now, what's important about it is the first miracle sets the precedent of all the miracles that's going to take place in the life and ministry of Jesus. So we pointed out a few things. You don't have to wait on God's timing. The mother of Jesus made the request. This was not a sovereign act of God. The mother of Jesus made a very simple request that they've run out of wine and they need wine. So the decision to who gets a miracle, when they get the miracle, and where they get the miracle, and what the miracle is up to you, the individual. Mary, the mother of Jesus, said they have no wine. And Jesus said, yeah, well, my time's not yet, or another time's not time for me. In other words, not time for me to do a miracle yet. But yet she kept pulling on and making the demand on God, and she got it when she wanted it. Hold on a second. You see, I want that coffee, and I want it right now. It's not up to God. I was sitting in there getting ready to do this morning, and I didn't hear the Lord say, go get you a cup of coffee. I just wanted it. And I made a demand on the Keurig, the coffee machine, and it obeyed and gave it to me. Well, you're the one that makes the decision as to what you want in your miracle. Hold on. You also make the decision when you're going to get it. Faith is always now. And if you're going to receive from God, you're going to have to believe that you received, Mark 11:24, when you prayed, not when you see the miracle. That's the first thing. The second thing that I told you was this was a miracle of opulence. Nobody got delivered from some kind of a disease. Nobody got born again or had some kind of a spiritual thing. This was a miracle of sheer opulence. They didn't have to have any wine. I mean, wine at a wedding feast is not the most important thing going on. So God likes to show us in this first miracle that he'll do things for us that doesn't have to be quote unquote spiritual. Doesn't have to be something that we have to have. Opulence. They didn't have to have the wine. They was having a party anyway. Now, the last thing that I want to share with you today is when God does something, it's the best. Let's go down here and read a couple of verses. It's going to take a little time to do it. But in verse 9, when the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, he didn't know where it came from, but the servants which drew the water knew. The governor of the feast, the leader of the town, the governor of the feast called the bridegroom. Now watch what he says. And saith unto him, every man at the beginning does set forth good wine. And when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine until now. Wow. Every man, when they're at a wedding feast, they set forth their best wine, their good wine, to impress everybody. And when everybody's drunk all they want of that and they've had the party all day, well, then they get the old leftover wine out there, that's already half fermented and rotten. And they put that out there for the people to drink. But he said, hey, you've done something different here. You saved the best to the last. Ooh. We'll use that word good and best interchangeable there. Let me read it to you again. But them which are to the worst, they bring that which is worse. But, he says, you have kept that best wine until now. Ooh, glory be to God. We're talking about the first miracle of Jesus and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth. Jesus always does the best. He's reserved the best, I believe, in these last days for me and you. Not going to be old leftovers. Not going to have to go down to the hospital and have something cut out. I believe, like so many people that I've prayed with and for that had a tumor, and they'd go back to the doctor after we'd pray for them, and the doctor say, it's gone. Shocked. God does it supernaturally, which is a whole lot better than the way the doctors are going to do it anyway. Now, the doctors do the very best they can. Don't misunderstand me. Hold on. I'm certainly not telling you don't go to the doctor. I'm telling you that God, when he does it supernaturally, it's better. It's the best. It's the very best way it can be. So in this miracle, first miracle in John chapter 2, it calls it that, the first miracle, There's some precedents that you're the one that decides what you want. You decide when you want it. You also decide where you want it. You make the demand on God, and it doesn't have to be in God's timing like most religious people teach you, because Jesus said, my time is not yet. She said, yeah, that's right, but I want this wine. I want it now. So you don't have to wait on some long period of time for God to feel sorry for you. You get it the day that you pray it. And today's the day that I'm believing God for a miracle of sorts. And so God's going to do it today. Somebody says, well, how's he going to do it today? It's Sunday. Well, that's his best day. Then the other thing is, it's a miracle of sheer opulence. Stuff that you don't have to have. God is so saying to you that you can believe God for something that is not a, quote, need, but just a desire, and he'll give you more than enough. And fourth, I want to just close it with this. We'll be through with this and do something different tomorrow. He gives you the best. When it's a miracle of God, it's much better than what the doctor can do. When it's a miracle of God, it's much better than what money can do. When it's a miracle of God, it is the best. So the first miracle was given for you to understand God wants you to have it. And until I'm with you tomorrow, saints, remember all day long, Jesus is Lord. Thank God the word works.